Okay, I'm gonna be very, very honest with you. So I think if you're trying to create like your art into a living, so like let's say you're trying to be a musician and then you're basically just trying to become a full-time musician, just do only music stuff, right? Or any other medium, okay? It's going to be challenging. It will always be challenging. Art is an extremely competitive industry to get into, but I'm not here to destroy your hopes or anything, okay? But you need to know that also to be able to be a super successful musician, okay, you need to be these types of people. Okay, you need to be a very specific type of person. But I'm gonna boil it down into like the three types. I've made a video about this before. It's called the three types of artists. So basically, you need to be not just one type, but you need to be good at all three. If you're good, if you identify as two of them, like strongly, then you will become quite popular. If you identify as all three, you'll become extremely popular. Okay. Now I'm gonna go through them again. Okay, you might understand how this ties in into possibly creating and basically leading your art and then bringing it into your living, so people basically pay for you and then yeah, all that. Okay, so the very first one is expressionist. Second is gatherer. Third is perfectionist. Okay, so a lot of musicians, especially classical musicians, are perfectionists just because of how the nature of it. Okay, you were given music and then you just have to play it, and the most robotic, I guess, musicians are seen as the most revered because they can play it perfectly. Okay, but those are the perfectionists. But imagine that as your own artist, being your own artist. If you're a perfectionist, if you could play something really well, right, then does that mean you get popular? Not exactly. It's quite odd because nowadays you can get extremely, extremely talented musicians, yet no one knows them. All right, there was literally this one time there was a violinist in New York. Okay, he was a world class violinist, and he usually played like concerts where people would pay like hundreds of dollars just to go see him. But he played, by busking, so basically playing in the street, right? And he got maybe $5 from like 2 hours of playing. Whereas if he played 2 hours at a concert, which he could easily do, he'd get thousands of dollars, okay, just from that one performance. So it is not just enough to be one type. It is not just enough to be a perfectionist, right? Even being an expressionist. So an expressionist would be someone who cares, an artist that cares mostly about being able to pour themselves into a medium, right? To basically creating an escape, a way to escape from reality, okay? And that's usually through, like, let's say musicians, they're creating their own songs, okay? Already that's being an expressionist. And the more original you can be, all right, to create your own twisted part, your own identity onto the paper, then that's you being an expressionist. But even so, even with super, super original songs, that's not going to be enough, okay? Because there are other people also doing the same thing, but they're perfecting it as well. And they're also showing other people as well, which leads me on to gatherer, okay? The gathering artist anyway, is extremely, extremely powerful because they're able to also speak and converse with other people, and they know how to connect to other people. And then because of that, they know how to get their art across to other people effectively, okay? So you might be a perfectionist, you might be an expressionist, right? You might be a gatherer, okay? A gatherer in musicians anyway would be those that like combust, or there's that one guy that brings his guitar to camping and everyone sits around singing songs, right? His songs, they're not like super, super impressive. It's just a very wholesome moment, right? That's just a very great way to connect everyone together. But imagine that guitarist was also a perfectionist. Then he could get like, maybe he could fill out a gig if he wanted to. If he was also as an expressionist, if he created his own songs, then you've got a potential to basically capture an entire country, an entire world through that. Okay? So you cannot just be a perfectionist. You cannot just be the expressionist, as in creating your own art. You cannot just be the person who is able to communicate really well, but their art actually isn't that good. They don't take too much care in it. I mean, that sounds mean, but they might have like a repertoire of like art, right? Where they're not exploring too much, but they just really want to share it to other people, and they know how to speak to other people, and they really like other people. but they're forgetting about these other aspects, such as being an expressionist, being a perfectionist as well. To be able to master all three is a bit like the Avatar: The Last Airbender. All right, if you can master all of those elements, all right, gatherer, expressionist, and also perfectionist, then I have no doubt that you'll be able to capture the entire world. Okay, of course you would. Imagine a musician that's extremely competent, or an artist that's really, really good at their art. Not only that, they were creating their own kind of art, being very, very original. Okay, and not only that, it is a way that can speak to other people. Okay, that is extremely powerful. All three of those, if you can master all three, you're easily going to capture everyone. That's just the case. Of course it will be. Okay, but you just take it one step at a time, which is why you need to actually identify yourself as one of them first. You might easily be able to know which one you are, and then branch off to the other ones. Okay, know your weaknesses, know your strengths, which is why, if you can watch the video that I made. Is 3 types of artists. It'll go more in depth about the weaknesses and strengths of each of those types, and how to basically build onto the other ones to make yourself more full-rounded, and then you can build up from there. Okay, it's a plan to make you basically the best musician you can be, with the best guidance that I can think of for you. Okay, if you have any suggestions, any video ideas, please let me know. I would love to hear it, and hopefully you subscribe as well. And if you this video really, really helps you though, I also do one-to-one coaching, but you don't have to do it. That's fine. Okay, hopefully I will see you later. Bye bye.